Behold, this arena will be built for war.
As master of the games, man can devise entertainment that they really want.
Let the games begin!
So, Lara, welcome to Out Loud Culture. It's a pleasure to have you here. You star in the forthcoming Peacock series, Those About to Die, alongside the legendary Anthony Hopkins. Can you tell us a bit about the show and who you play?
Absolutely. First of all, it still feels like a dream to me, thinking that, we were in Rome shooting this epic Peacock series, these 10 episode, drama that, cost $155 million.
Wow.
And Roland Emmerich is directing together with Marco Kreuzpeitner. They were this, the way they split the episodes and the way they complemented each other was very special to witness, and to be directed by both of them was interesting. Then having Anthony Hopkins on the show, is a whole other level that I never imagined I would, be close to that.
How did you prepare for this role, given the historical and cultural context of this character?
Ultimately, I try to approach a character from the inside out, meaning I need to see how it connects with me, what levels, the character is similar with me, what are the struggles, what are the differences, and then I slowly work my way to the outside. And what's great about the historical character is you can just, you can go to a library, you can dig through archives, you can talk to historians. Everyone will have another opinion, which is also fantastic. And what's wonderful about it as well is, because she's an ancient character, there's no video footage that you can actually watch and then just copy. And so it's really up to the actor to, have the courage to give an interpretation of, I think this is what she was like.
So can you share any interesting or challenging experiences you had on the set of this series?
Absolutely. We were such a humongous cast. It's like 100 actors.
Wow.
And we shot in Italy. We shot at the famous stage of Cinecittà. We shot through a heat wave where we couldn't turn on any ACs, where the actors were, in their costumes, in their armors, just drenched through everything. Like, the sweat would just roll down their cheeks. It was an interesting way of being that also felt very authentic, because that's how it used to be, right? It was interesting to be in this fast-paced environment where you had actors fly in, fly out. You just befriended people and then you didn't see them for the next 2 months. And, we were shooting over a long period of time, and what I thought was challenging, I don't stay in character. I like to get out of it by the end of the day. That's important for me to process. But sometimes these gaps were so long, and I always needed some time to find my way back into it, because if you were out of it for 3 weeks, and then you come in for 2 days, you have to find it again. But what really helped were the costumes, the hair. That was really helpful.
Were they uncomfortable to wear in that weather?
I mean, this one thing I have to say about this. It was the most comfortable costume I've ever worn because I didn't have to wear any heels and my clothes were pretty, regal and loose. um, but I had about 2 kilograms of extensions on my hair, including a steel crown that was piercing right into my skull. And attached to that was this long veil that had almost like a magnet at the end of it to keep to pull down the weight. And so my shoulders were constantly pulled back naturally, which is good, good for the character. But I definitely prefer that over high heels and a tight costume. I would do that again over and over.
For what your wife is doing in the company of other known sex traffickers.
Where's Sarah?
Nothing.
If I don't do this, they'll kill her.
In a variety of characters across TV and film, is there any particular role or type of role or genre you prefer?
No, not really, to be honest with you. I wish I had a clear answer to that. It's just I find a lot of things very interesting, and as long as characters have a certain level of complexity, it can be interesting. I approach life that way. I think statistics can be interesting. That's everything can be interesting. And I know this sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. I really believe I really believe that. I think I would, at some point I would like to see myself in maybe a mystery fantasy world. Just something that I loved as a kid, and then it kind of just went away, and I'm starting to connect with it again.
You've worked in both TV series and films. How do you find the experience of working in these two different formats?
You mean the differences?
Yeah.
I think film gives you more time. It gives the actor more time to breathe and have ideas and bring in their own creativity. It just allows the actor to breathe more. Whereas TV moves fast, and oftentimes there's not so much time to really go deep. It always depends on the show, of course, but my experience, that has been my experience, that TV just moves faster. You have to, it's a switch. Even the way you approach a scene, things move faster. There's no time to waste in TV.
Oh. Wer ist denn das?
Niemand.
Ich weiß ja nicht, was er dir versprochen hat, aber das hier wird nicht stattfinden.
You've also done a bit of writing. What is it that you enjoy about writing? Is there anywhere in particular you derive your stories from?
Well, usually the stories come straight out of my life. And, writing, I was encouraged to write a few years ago, and I never really wanted to do it because I never considered myself a writer. But then during the pandemic, I've been part of this theater company, and they encouraged their actors to write their own stories for possible productions. And during the pandemic, I just didn't have anything to do. And I needed to get busy. And so it was the first time I had to just sit still and not move and not run around. And so suddenly I found the joy in writing. And, I also found the joy in becoming better at writing and finding a language that is forward driving and rhythmically interesting, something that could be turned into a spoken word. And you know, I'm hoping that at some point I can put together a play. I'm working currently on a play, and it's been a love and hate relationship.
Is there anything you can tell us about the play at all?
Not yet. But I'm hoping to finish it. My mentors are really on my case. They need me to finish this.
Je suis pas, je suis obligé de te suivre.
Pourquoi tu me suis?
Tu te barres à 3h du mat et je suis pas censé savoir pourquoi?
Non, t'es pas censé savoir. Arrête de me suivre. Je te dirai.
Oh, you've played a detective, a mistress, a princess, so much more. How do you find and maintain versatility in your acting?
You know, authenticity, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think everyone has all and everything inside them. It's just a matter of how to access and find it. And I think it's the joy of the actor to, you know, find different characters and find themselves within the characters. And I think it's less about what the character is and more about how it's written, the tone of the show or the film. I think those things are more important in terms of how to keep your authenticity. But I think ultimately, we can be all and everything depending on what circumstances we're in.
What advice would you give to aspiring actors who are just starting their career?
I think very important to first ask yourself what the genuine intention is, or if there is a genuine intention, why they're in the business, because it's just it's a tough industry, and if those intentions are not genuine, it just won't last that long. And then stay very committed to your work. I think that's the most important part. Even when people say it's a type question, it's about the look, talent doesn't matter, I don't believe in that, because at the end of the day, if you're an actor and you want to pride yourself in your work, and getting feedback is difficult, especially in auditions, so all you can do is keep working, buckle down and keep working on your craft, improve, focus on improving, and know that at some point your preparation will pay off, you know.
What has been the most rewarding role or project of your career so far, and why?
Well, it's very hard to beat Queen Berenice. Yeah, I loved playing Queen Berenice. You know, I loved the whole experience in the show. It felt good to energetically expand and allow myself to be bigger than, you know, who I am. It felt really good. I didn't want to let her go. And obviously, you know, I think if it was Queen Berenice in a play, I would say the same thing. You know, it felt really, really good, and obviously it was a big honor to, you know, work with Roland Emmerich. That was a dream come true. He's such a visionary and, you know, incredible director.
How did they find us? No one else knew which hospital my father was being treated at.
I can't do this. I'm not ready to be king. I don't know what to do.
You don't have to do it alone. I'll be there to help you.
It should be you.
In the coming days, you will become Emir, and everything will change. Do something to make yourself happy. Have one last night of freedom.
So where do you see your career heading in the next few years? Are there any specific goals or dreams you hope to achieve?
Specific goals. We actors like to work. And ultimately, I'm very open to see where this career leads. I shy away from having a 5-year plan because that never worked out for me. All I can do is know what I'm excited about. When I have work, when I work on an audition or a play, feel that I'm excited about, and then do baby steps in that direction, whatever excites me. And I love films. I still, up to this day, I'm a cinema enthusiast, and if I can somehow just tell important stories that can inspire a 14-15-year-old girl, I think that would make me very happy.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
I did see some videos on your Instagram of you singing. You have an amazing voice, by the way.
In my shoe, walking sleep. In my youth, I pray to keep heaven sent hell away. No one sings like you anymore. Black old sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black old sun, won't you come, won't you come?
Something you would actively pursue, or would like to actively pursue?
Singing was always there for me. It's a big part of who I am, and I'm in a jazz band right now. It's always there for me, and I think at some point I want to put together a little album.
Yeah.
I have a couple of songs that I've written, and I need to give them to my musician friends to really put it together, and maybe I would like that. I would like to put together a little album.
Was there anyone
Maybe in the next few years.
Was there anyone in particular that inspired you to want to be a singer or pursue music in any form?
I mean, my dad, for as long as I remember, would come home from work, would take his beautiful Gibson guitar, he would sit down in the balcony, and he would just play. And he would be in his own world, and he would just play. And I've always heard him play the guitar, and I've always had good music in my house. And, he always encouraged me to sing with him or guess the songs, and then I played the violin. He always wanted me to play the guitar, so now I played a little bit. Then through that, I somehow got into jazz singing, which I really enjoyed. It's interesting, I prefer singing jazz over listening to jazz. It's a strange thing. And over the years, it's just been there for me. When I have my melancholic streaks, I'm more of a singer. Totally, yeah.
So who are some people that you listen to currently? Like any artists or musician you're currently listening to?
I keep going back to the same. I have a very broad sense of musical taste, but I find myself always going back to the same singers that I've liked years ago. You know, I always loved Jeff Buckley. I loved Fiona Apple. I loved Pink Floyd. I love Radiohead, Bauhaus. There's a variety, Joy Division. Yeah, there's a variety of I would say singer-songwriters, rock, punk rock, that I tend to go back to.
What can you tell us about your upcoming projects beyond those about to die?
Well, there's one that I can't really talk about just yet. It's an action film, I can say that. Would happen in the fall. I just can't, I can't talk about that yet. But I also have a film that should come out soon, that should make the festival circuits. It's called Reading Lolita in Tehran. It's a story based on a New York Times bestseller by Ozan Nafisi. She is an Iranian professor who was teaching Western literature at the University of Tehran back in the 70s, 80s, and then due to the revolution, she wasn't allowed to teach Western literature anymore. And because of that, she decided to scout or just call her 6 favorite female students and form this underground book club. And every Thursday afternoon, these girls would go to her house and they would discuss Western literature. And it shows the story of all of these girls, you know, this split personality almost between how they have to behave in public and how they are within their, you know, circles of friends. That's a very meaningful project. And it's directed by Eran Riklis, a director whom I've loved for years. And, you know, hopefully it will surface soon.
به مگید ببینی تمام فک و فامیل قبیله رو ازش آورده اینجا. بعضی موقع یه حرفایی تو میزنی من اصلا نمیفهم تو چی میگی.
حالا فرض کن اون وقت شب رفتی.
خب
اون کارم کردی.
بخواب باش. خب
برگشتی به اینا میخوای چی بگی؟
Is there anyone that you would love to star alongside? I mean, I know you've starred alongside Anthony Hopkins. You can't really get any bigger than that. But is there anyone else that you'd love to work with?
There are so many. How am I even going to... Oh my God, really? There are so many. I love them all. How am I gonna... You know, I've always loved Helena Bonham Carter. She's always one of my favorite actresses. I don't know how I would fit into her world, you know, but I always admired her. I've always loved Kate Winslet, you know, for her authenticity and her truth and her strength. This is a very difficult question. There are so many people, and I feel that every time I say a name, I'm limiting everyone else I would like to work with. So it's very hard to respond to that.
Well, unfortunately, it's time for us to go, but we thank you so much, Lara, for being here with us. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Hope we can speak to you again. Is there anything you would like to say to everyone out there in our little realm of Out Loud Talk?
Is there anything I would like to say? You know, I hope everyone, you know, takes the higher road and gets away from pettiness. Something like that. Or more like follow Lara Wolf. Which one do you prefer?
Thank you, Lara. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you so much, and I hope you can navigate through this jungle of words this mumbo jumbo that I gave you.
It's always incredible having someone of your caliber here, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.